Episode 14 of the D1 podcast has been completed, and today we have our natural bodybuilding phenomenon, AJ Morris. AJ is way more than a bodybuilder, though. Also, the founder of the MBW. This guy sets the example on a daily basis for the younger generation on how to go about their day to day lives. Give this one a listen. Guy is extra special. Episode 14. AJ Morris, welcome to the show.
It's a pleasure. Thank you very much for having me down. It's a great setup you've got. Obviously, I love the gym. Been down here a lot when I can.
My guy.
And now it's a pleasure to be on.
My guy. Just introduce yourself.
Sure. So I am AJ Morris. I'm primarily known as AJ, the natural guy, the guy that coaches naturals, the guy that competes in natural bodybuilding, and obviously now runs natural bodybuilding shows as well. And I've kind of been like passionate about growing that area of natural bodybuilding really over the last, 12 years now. I'd say, yeah, good bit over a decade of just trying to dedicate myself to building the natural community. And yeah, I guess a little bit of sort of other things that I've got going alongside that in the background is my primary job is coaching. So I coach a lot of athletes within the natural space. I only coach natural athletes. And I've been doing that since 2015. And my goal when I started was to coach the highest level drug-free athletes to, world championship stages, pro cards, all that kind of good stuff. And now that's exactly what I'm doing. So I've really sort of, on the coaching front, I've achieved a lot of what I set out to do. And I have to, we'll talk about it probably a bit in this episode, but I have to always remind myself when I'm waking up and I've got a load of work on my desk that I'm super grateful. And this is what I've wanted, So instead of like waking up and thinking, oh, damn, like this is going to be a big day. It's like, no, like this is what I wanted. This is what I grafted for since I was like 15. So yeah, and then as an athlete, I competed for the first time in 2014. And yeah, I've done now, I think it's coming up to, 2025, but my 7th contest prep. And yeah, just slowly climbing up. I wasn't one of those kids that just looked like a freak of nature when I was a teenager. I had to just slowly graft my way to be in a position to build what is now like a respectable, good level, natural physique.
Yeah.
So it took a long time for my own athlete process. And I think that's probably where I've got a lot of buy-in from my following and from my clients is that they've seen just the slow, steady graft and climb. It wasn't like a kind of, it wasn't, definitely not. So I think that's where I get a lot of my clients come to me as a result of thinking, if he can do it and I apply myself for a similar amount of time, I'm gonna get to where I want to be just through graft. So yeah, that's pretty much a pretty short synopsis as to myself.
You in 5 minutes.
Yeah, as short as I can keep it.
You missed out a really big part though.
Okay.
So AJ growing up, because AJ growing up wasn't into the gym.
No, that's it. Yeah,
AJ growing up was a racer.
Yeah, that's it. So yeah, I mean, I started karting and motorsport when I was 8 and stopped when I was 15.
Yeah.
So it was for a long time. And the only reason I stopped was just because of money. It was just too pricey. It's even more ridiculous now to get into that kind of sport. So yeah, and I also for sure saw my career going that way. So when it all came to a close, I didn't really have an immediate thought of like, okay, what am I going to do next? I just knew that I liked fitness because I was really caring about being super fit for racing because it's quite physical. So I'd already started, training with weights, primarily training my neck, funnily enough, because that's the thing that basically feels like it's going to fall off when you're like 9 years old going pretty quick.
Hence the big traps and big back.
Yeah, maybe it played a role in the forearms as well.
Yeah.
Those are the only body parts already built. But yeah, they that taught me a lot, to be honest. When I was younger, I think that probably bled into my understanding that, especially in bodybuilding, it is an individual sport when you get on stage and you actually compete. But in the background, there's just a lot of teamwork. And that's very similar in motorsport. You race on track on your own, but you have a team around you that without that foundation, you're not getting anywhere.
So you've gone into the gym the first time at 15?
Yeah, I'd say 14, 15
which
years
is
old.
perfect. And obviously, you've now progressed your way up now to your 30.
Yep.
And so you've been training for 15, 16 years.
Mhm.
All throughout that time, you've remained natural. And like one of the most common words you've used so far is natural, drug free, drug free.
Yeah.
Why so passionate about the drug free? Why so passionate about the natural? Because you're not against people doing it. You know, each
Not
to
at all.
their own.
Yeah.
But you're a big ambassador for doing it natural, and that's why one of the things that we just spoke about a second ago is that when people come into the gym nowadays, they'll train for a week, they'll train for 2 weeks, they'll train for a month, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, cool, let's become enhanced.
Mm,
Why are you so passionate about? No, I'm never going to touch it.
sure. I think for me, it didn't even start that way, to be quite frank with you. It started as I just like bodybuilding, just like anyone. So I didn't really know the difference between natural and assisted.
Okay.
I was regularly reading Flex magazine. And I saw Kai and Phil, and I looked up all to these bodybuilders at the Olympia. I didn't honestly, at 15 years old, I really didn't understand the difference.
Yeah.
And then I did meet some people in the gym that were assisted, and they educated me a little bit more. So I then started to understand the difference that, okay, this guy is this size, probably because at some point he's decided to go down that path. So then for me, I only really realized that I would want to stay natural when I went to my first natural show.
Okay.
That's a big hook there for people to understand. I only wanted to keep staying natural when I went to a natural show. Because a lot of these kids that you mentioned that say, oh, I fancy, going assisted after 3-4 months, bet you, first thing you ask them, have you been to a show?
Mm.
The answer will be no.
Mm.
What they've seen is they've seen a social media highlight reel, or they've seen some lads in the gym that are stronger than them and bigger than them and thought, right, okay, I want that. But do you actually want that? Because if you go to a show, I'd recommend any young athlete go to shows, see the highest standard. Maybe come to the MBW. I'll get you a free ticket. Come in, watch the high standard, see what it's like, and then also go to. I'd honestly favor going to an amateur assisted show and see what most of those guys look. Don't go to the Arnold. Don't go to the Pinnacle, because if you go to even to the MBW, you'll see a wide range of amateur level and then pro level, and you'll see in amongst that some really, really good genetics and then some like average ones. If you go to the Arnold or something, you're only seeing the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
So most of those people, again, you're not going to look that way. You go assisted, you're not going to look that way. The immediate thing that you get from being assisted is not looking like Samson Dowda or looking like, and even those people, like, there is such a quantum leap and a quantum gap between a really, really good assisted pro and then a top 5 Olympia pro. We only just this weekend past had the show where Tampa, where Nick won, and obviously James and then Joe were in their top 3. James is amazing athlete, but there's still quite a decent gap between him and Nick. And those gaps are just in natural body that building, they're the same, but you don't experience them until you really you just understand that genetics will only take you to a certain level, and then the rest is like little gaps, little tiny gaps. So I think bring it back around to what I was saying at the start. The reason why I stay natural is because I knew that if I could get close to a high level natural physique, I'd be quite comfortable with that. In terms of development, I'd be like, okay, I wouldn't mind looking like that.
You were happy in your look.
I was happy with my look, happy with the physique I could build.
Yeah.
So
and you're content within yourself.
Content within myself, exactly. I was, first and foremost doing it for me. It wasn't even for trying to achieve a natural pro card or trying to turn IFBB pro or anything like that, which I think now there's pros and cons of building the community. So over the last 10 years, I think myself for sure and a lot of other select individuals have really built natural bodybuilding from what was considered almost a bit of a joke, to be honest, to now a really, really good level of competition across so many different countries worldwide. I think in the UK, it's built so much. If you just look at the entries of shows in 2015, 2016 versus now, it's just quantum leap. So, I think more people need to realize what can be achieved naturally. And that's why I'm so passionate about it, is that I'm just, me and the people that I surround myself with are legit examples of what you can do drug free. There are, of course, many other pros, but there also are some cons. I'm not going to lie to you. Natural bodybuilding ain't healthy just as much as assisted bodybuilding ain't healthy. The healthiest thing that I could do is not compete whatsoever, being quite blunt. Like
Is that
just,
because you push your body to absolute extremes?
yeah, both ends of the scale. So, if I look at an off season, the peak of an off season, the training load, the stress on the body, the calories, that's I don't feel fantastic there. And then I also just definitely don't feel fantastic at the end of a prep. And you're also looking at blood work where, for a male, you're hypogonadal, you feel like trash as a result. It takes a while for you to get back into physiological ranges with tests. For a female, you lose your cycle, you have down regulation through thyroid. There's tons of effects physiologically that you don't obviously outweigh some of the ones that you can't avoid by being assisted, but there are things that you can do to keep you in a better spot assisted and create ideally a lower level of stress in the body. So, if you were to ask the best way to probably get into shape as a bodybuilder, would probably be on some form of like moderate hormone replacement therapy. That would be the best way to like get in like really, really good shape and keep everything perfectly leveled.
For your average person
For,
that just wants to look good.
yeah,
Yeah,
honestly,
look the part.
if they want to look really, really lean, keep everything sort of like super stable physiologically, probably some form of replacement therapy dosage would probably be goated. And alongside maybe some of these new stuff with the peptides,
Yeah.
that's probably like the best picture of health you could be in some shape or form. However, if you treat natural bodybuilding with what I feel like I definitely try to lead from the front with treating it in the best way possible. I don't compete every season. I take time off, I get myself healthy, and I go again when I'm ready and it actually improved. If you do it that way, I think it can be a very healthy thing to do long term. And you just look at some of the older natural bodybuilders in their 40s and they're in their, maybe even close to their 50s, like they're still looking fantastic.
Yeah.
And they're looking very healthy as well, because obviously you don't get the same, aging that you get potentially going down the assisted route. Which is why a lot of them generally just look younger and in some ways look healthier.
Yeah.
But like I said, there is so many ways that you can bodybuild. I just think it's so important for the younger generation just to actually see what they want to become, like see that in person before you think I'm gonna go down that path.
Are you worried about the long-term effects?
Of me doing natural
Yeah.
bodybuilding,
Obviously, there's going to be a
um,
day when you're going to want little AJs running around.
big time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
mean, yeah, for sure. The answer to that is yes. But I'm confident for me that like if I treat it the way that I am still treating it now, and I take good time gaps between seasons, and I get myself back into good positions in regards to blood work and all that, and just generally how I'm feeling. Like, for example, I competed last time basically a year and a couple of months ago. I feel fantastic now, feel
yeah,
perfect. But if you were to ask me the same question 6 months ago, it'd be a resounding like, still feel like bad.
yeah. So why do you do it?
I enjoy the personal challenge more than anything
I
else.
thought so.
So for me, mate, like I'm on fire when I'm on prep, because the depths of prep create this like just kind of ultra focused, like rigid mindset, block everything out, but hard focus on everything.
Yeah.
It's a very special place for me to be. And if I could get to that place without some of the side effects, the negative ones all the time, I'd just stay there if I could, because I know how amazing it is.
You come across as ultra focused all the time, though. Just seeing you train, just when you're here, or just seeing you in general, engaging with you in general, you're a very, very, very good example of, and I'll take the gym out of it, of what it takes to become successful.
Thank you. I appreciate
You're
that.
very good example, and that's why I think that your following is what it is as broad as it is as appealing as it is. Because one, you come across very authentic, and two, when you do a set, I don't think you've got anything else in your mind other than the fact that you're gonna pick that shit up.
100%. Yeah, that's the way it has to be.
Where does that come from?
I definitely think it's something that I've just built over time. I would be lying to you if I said the first time I went to the gym, I had that kind of approach. I'm blessed to have had some great experiences over my training career, training with really hard training individuals, and I've learned a lot from that. And I also think that I followed a lot of really good role models. And I think that's one of the best things that you can do, even if you're not got the ability to train with these people, is just follow them and just watch and learn.
Yeah.
You can pick up so many little things from the way that they just into the gym. Like you see someone that trains really, really hard. It's not just about what they do in a set.
Yeah.
It's about how they come into the gym,
Yeah.
their mindset. Like are they flicked on? Are they focused? Are they looking around during the sets, or are they got their head down, like looking at their logbook, focusing on their music, whatever it may be? There's a certain thing that these people have that's very common. It's like they're in a certain headspace for the whole session, not just for
Switch.
not just for a moment of time. So yeah, and I think I've just got quite kind of an addictive personality in terms of I get attached to certain things. So like with my training, I am very attached to trying to be better in every single session. So naturally, as I've had that approach for the last, I'd probably say 6 or 7 years of my training career, I've been very attached to trying to get better.
Mhm.
You have to find something better to do with your mind to get your body to cooperate and do something better in that session. You have to find something extra. And it becomes harder and harder to do. So,
Just gonna say, what happens when you don't?
it's just, yeah, it's not great.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, but you got to feel that. You like the amount of sessions where, and this is something that I think I've had a positive impact with Loz, my partner, because she really struggled with that in the past with her training. She'd have one specific bad set, and just like the toys would be thrown properly out the pram. But, in those moments, I actually like really, I as a coach, kind of I told her the importance of feeling that, because you have to feel the weight of failure
Failure.
and
Yeah.
like expectation and pressure, and feel what it's like to not get what you want out of a set. And if you've got enough rationale to say, this was the reason why that didn't happen today and I didn't do as well as I should, if there's rationale to support something you could do done better before the session, then you should feel like shit, because there's something that you need to go out and do a better job of next time. And if you never feel like crap, then you never fix it.
Mm.
But if you've done every single thing that you could have done to get yourself ready for that session within your control, and then it just doesn't go your way, then that's when you just got to be like, right, okay, I laid it all on the table. I gave everything I've got, and then next time I'll come back and I'll just try and do better.
Yeah.
That's a maturity in your mindset that has to be kind of developed over the course of time.
And that's the importance of consistency. You're not always going to have an amazing session, but the fact is, as long as you're turning up, as long as you're doing something, you're moving in the right direction.
That's it.
So now, how does AJ go from being the young version of AJ to now you're AJ Morris? Now, like, your social media is growing, the brand is growing, the awareness is growing, the mindset's obviously shifted. Now you're dialed in on everything. Now you go from being AJ, just the guy who's training because he wants to get big and he wants to, improve his body just to look good,
Yeah.
to the coach.
I think, is the question more so like how do I still manage my own process around that?
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is where I've had to become very, very good at just sort of associating hard with what I am doing and disassociating with everything else in the moment. So for example, when I'm in the morning, the first thing that I do is I do my client updates, the check-ins, the prep updates, all the important bits of the jigsaw puzzle. I could quite easily wake up and have, and you know what it's like. Everyone that's busy knows what it's like. You have so many things you could do on your to-do list. It just forever builds. It's a never-ending list. It's not like you just tick it off and it's all done. There's always stuff to do. So I could wake up and have loads of different things on my table and approach them in a non-structured way, or I could approach them in a very structured pattern way where I deliver the best as a coach, the best as a partner, the best as an athlete, and just tick all of that every single day relentlessly. So My day is just very structured as a byproduct. So wake up at the same time every day, 4:30 a.m. every day, Monday to Sunday.
So glad you said 4:30.
Yeah, it's the best time for me.
I purposefully, because I know everyone does 4:30. Everyone does 4:30. Purposely, I do 4:13. It's just that competitive side of it. And I don't think it's stupid
I'll
thing
do
is
4:12 tomorrow.
I know I should not have told you that.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. And
You gotta do it, man.
that's why I knew you were gonna think that straight away. That's why you're an absolute alpha in your mindset. Because I know you'll do that tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if you'll just do it and just send me a message just to piss me off. But it's such a good thing that you're showing people that, okay, cool. Your sleep is important, amazing.
Yes.
But I bet you go to bed early as well.
I do. Yeah.
So my reason for going to bed early is because after 9 o'clock, you only do stupid stuff. You're going to go out, you're going to get drunk, or you're going to do something stupid. After 9 o'clock, I always class as the devil's hour. 4:30, 4 o'clock onwards, I always class as God's hour. So I'll be like, okay, cool. Who do you want to be with? I'll be with my guy over here, 4 o'clock. So it's just better. Like younger people now, they don't see it. So hearing it from you that, okay, I'm sacrificing my nights out because I want to drive my nice Porsches. I want to have nice experiences. I want to do this. So your mindset there is phenomenal. Why are you not posting at 4:30?
I think the thing is, mate, I kind of think my kind of mindset towards it is I could post at 4:30. I could tell more people about my routine and about my structure, but I think for me, the people that need to know already know.
Yeah.
So, for example, the main person that I want to prove that I can graft to is Loz.
Yeah.
That's the one person that I want to prove that I'm up at this time, and I'm not grafting for anyone else but her and our life. So if I can have that impact and positive influence on her, that's gonna be my main goal. So that's all that I really care about. And then also my athletes, my clients, they all know because they get their feedbacks pretty much they're all done by like 6:30, 7 o'clock because I'm up. And it works well with all my different time zones that I've got for different athletes and things like that. So there's a functional reason behind it as well. It allows me to train at a time and day where I've got a gap between time zones as well. So no one really gets left in the dark in terms of messages or responses because I'm available at the times I need to be. So there's a functional way to look at it also from a coaching standpoint. I think most coaches would be better off going to bed early and waking up early with most of their roster. And one final note as well is that, if you're not a morning person, try it and find out. The amount of people that I know that have gravitated towards this schedule and then say that their life has dramatically changed as a result is crazy. And they were people that were not morning people. Loz was not a morning person. She would quite comfortably, when I first got to know her, like I'd wake up and then she'd wake up and it would be like in my head, it would be a different day, but that was just her. Like she was studying. She wasn't, doing what she's doing now. And she built her business as a byproduct of graft and falling into, now she's on my schedule. She wakes up the same time as me and she's doing really well as a result of it.
Product of her environment.
I think so, a little bit, for sure.
Do you feel pressure to keep doing it? Not to keep waking up, to keep setting the example?
Yeah, I think so. And I think pressure is a good thing. I think pressure drives me to be better. I like to put myself in situations where I do feel like a weight of expectation, because I don't think I feel like I'm truly living without pressure, to be honest. It's easier to sustain this routine now because I've just done it for so long. So it's not really like I feel like, oh, like shit, I've got to wake up tomorrow like early, like it's a force. Like I'm excited to wake up. I'm excited to get after it and do all these things. But yeah, it's kind of why I've also gone into different areas, like the show, like the site, clothing, all of these different things. I'm sure like over future years, I'll just keep throwing my, feet into different things because at some point I'll want something new that challenges me. So yeah, I think the pressure is there, but it's a good thing in my life.
Okay, so on to something new. So we're going through AJ's life at the moment. So obviously we've had AJ as the driver, AJ is the boy that walked into the gym, AJ Morris the brand, and then NBW.
Sure.
How did this come about?
So there was just a gap, really, to be quite frank.
NBW is the biggest natural bodybuilding community going.
I'd say so. I definitely think it's up there with another brand called Natty News Daily, which is more of a US brand. But yeah, in terms of those two, when I think of natural bodybuilding brands, are like the two that I think would be sitting up the top. But yeah, here in the UK for sure, I think it's the leading kind of like
Easy.
community and brand for sure.
How did that
And
come about?
yeah, how did it come about? So I honestly thought that there was just this eagerness in the space for community and for a place to learn a little bit more. And, I'd be lying if I said I hadn't had a lot of inspiration from seeing what other people had done with their brands. So, looking at Trained by JP building the site and building a membership platform and education at a low ticket entry, like I was getting to the point where, and I'm still am now, where I have to be very selective with who I take on as athletes. I can't coach everyone. My price point's also not for everyone. The way I coach isn't for everyone. I'm not going to be for everyone, but my principles and the way I educate and the way other people educate and help people in a community fashion is probably for a wider demographic, aka more for everyone. So I was like, right, well, we can educate better and we can just get out some good content and help people also feel like they're a part of something.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that was just missing. Like people felt like they were maybe like, I don't know, part of bigger communities within just bodybuilding, which is great, but it's a nice little niche that we could build in the natural side. So then that's when the site came along. The site obviously helped primarily just to get people to be more educated. And now, like it's since been running for since 2022, we have people now that are just basically every now and then we'll have like every 2 weeks someone posting the forum with someone that's won an overall title with just like they're using the course just to prep themselves. Or they've used the courses to prep a client and they'll post up that client and they'll have won. I had one guy post in the forum, his client beat my client because he'd used all of the forums and asked questions regularly on the client's prep and he'd done an amazing job with him. And it's like that impact is basically like mentorship, but for 19.99 a month, which is like, if you ask me, that's a bargain.
Yeah.
Like that's pennies.
Less than £1 a day.
Exactly. And I think it'd be nice to see even more people capitalize on that because we've got a good community, but it's not like thousands and thousands of members, it's not a big earner, but it's the impact that's more important to me. And what was so decent about, in hindsight, that strategy was in 2022, I had no interest at all in running a show.
Yeah.
All I wanted to do with that NBW was build a brand. That's why I did the clothing, to build the brand awareness, to build something behind this that then I could use as leverage for other stuff. So by the time that we got to 25 and the idea came to me with maybe doing an international contest, I was like, well, that's not a bad time to do it because we've already built the brand. Because the thing is, like, no one's going to buy into just a random show without something behind it. So with the NBW brand behind it, it had the trust, the know, the like, the respect, the trust, all the things that you do when you buy into something. So I thought that it would be a good time to then add that string to the bow. But yeah, that's kind of how NBW came about. Was there was just a gap to build community in the natural space.
And that show, you put the AJ spin on that. That was one heck. Just looking at it from online, obviously I didn't go, but looking at it from online, that was one heck of a show.
Thank you, mate. I mean, it definitely was just a byproduct of just having the right people in the right space. As you know yourself, when you run something with a team, if you got the right team, everything's gonna follow quite nicely. So I just selected the cream of the crop.
Yeah.
In terms of what I thought was, the best venue I could get for the money I had, and then throw everything at all the things that I thought were limitations at shows I've been at in the past. The good thing is I've been at shows since 2014.
Yeah.
So when you've been to that many shows, you find out all the problems. And I also found out that, to be honest with you, a lot of promoters this is really brutally honest. A lot of promoters are in it for the wrong reasons. Mate. A lot of promoters are in it for wrong reasons. Two ways it can go. One, you focus all on the money. So with you focusing all on the money, rip off the athlete and the athlete gets a poor experience. Two, you don't focus at all on the money. So then you end up hating it because you're running loads of shows and you're making no money. So I just went the middle ground. I was like, right, I'm going to focus pretty much all on the athlete in year one, but I'm going to make it so it's got the foundation to be profitable in the future. Because without, again, holding nothing back, I want to make money from it in the future. I didn't in year one. Every bit of penny went back into it, whether it's prize money or whatever. But in year two, I think we're set already to come back into the green, which should be good. And I want to make some money from it because I want to be. For me, money is not like I don't set like a financial target and view that as success, but it proves to me that something's working, and it also gives me something to strive for. So more athletes in the show, more sponsors equals more money, equals making it more profitable. Then there's that more like passion going behind it and enjoyment. So it's like the middle ground.
Your thinking is just so good. It's
Thank
just
you.
so right. It's like,
Try my best.
no, it's so right, AJ. So are you educated?
To a degree, yes. I mean, I'm not like I didn't go to uni.
But
I
school
stopped at
educated.
college. Yeah,
Yeah.
school educated. Yeah.
But and then this is the beauty of I always ask that question because I find that people that don't go uni, although I did go uni, never used anything that I learned in a day of my life, but you're adding value. Your whole thing is adding value. If you look at the words used and the experience, the
Yeah.
athlete, you're looking at it from your point of view, being in their position. What do they want? What can I provide that I missed out on that they wanted? And then the initial thing that everyone's going to look at is, okay, I've got to put £10,000 in, or I've got to get £10,001 out. But people don't think that. They think I've put £10,000 in, I've got to get £100,000 out.
Yeah.
But to
Yeah.
get £100,000 out, you got to do that in 3, 4, 5 years' time. You know, it doesn't just happen overnight how it's made out to be.
So
So you're kind of like, now that we're speaking about this a little bit more, you're like, and I'm not going to disrespect your name like that, but you're like the Andrew Tate version of bodybuilding. So he's got his Hustlers University, NBW is essentially adding value back into the bodybuilding world.
yeah.
Which is honestly a phenomenal thing. And for younger people, for the sake of $19.99 a month, which is pretty much a Netflix subscription, they are going to benefit so much more in the long term. Because one thing bodybuilding, I think, does do, I'm not a massive fan of bodybuilding. I'm a massive fan of the work ethic behind it. And that's what I think it teaches
Yes.
people.
Yeah.
So, okay, cool. You look phenomenal. A bodybuilder will look phenomenal, but it's not practical. And like you're saying, there's loads of, could you push it to the extremes?
Yeah.
There's loads of, there's disadvantages as well. Whereas I'm just a guy who just wants to pick up some weight, train, have the experience of pushing myself to a limit in the day. And then can I take that discipline of pushing out into the real world?
Yeah.
That's what really that NBW should be doing. That's what they should be putting across, or that's what kids should be getting from it. Sorry, I've got a fountain of knowledge here. Like I've got knowledge from people who have actually done it. So, and I know you don't promote too much material stuff online, but materialistically, you have stuff. You know, you have a nice life. You drive a nice car. You go on nice holidays. You have a lovely partner who you set the standard there as well. That's why I was asking, do you feel the pressure? Because you're kind of like a poster boy and everyone guns for the poster boy. But the poster boy, because he's so focused and because he's so dedicated on setting the standard, you know, you're bulletproof.
I think that's the thing. It's like you've also got to think about I all of those, yeah, maybe more materialistic things. I think of them as not necessarily goals or objectives, but more so they've kind of come just quite naturally as like a byproduct.
Natural bodybuilding.
Yeah. So I think the thing is if you want those things, instead of setting them as potential targets, just instead really hone in on something that you're just truly passionate about. And that will take you a lot of the way.
Yeah.
You know, it really, really, really will. Because, you know, the more that you try to force yourself down a route that's just like a financial outcome or a car outcome or a holiday outcome or even just like a life outcome, like meeting the right partner, I think that those things are just always going to end up with you being bottlenecked by maybe a short term. You've got you graft your ass off doing something that you hate. You get the car. Promise you, the car's not going to make you happy.
Yeah.
Like the car makes me happy. Like, yeah, for sure. But I'm happy because I'm happy in my life, not happy because I've got the car.
Yeah.
Um, I'm happy to go on holiday and come back home because when I'm back home, I'm back into my normal routine and I love my normal routine. So the holiday didn't make me happy. It was a continuation of my life that already is making me happy. So
Memories.
yeah, absolutely. So I think, and even the way that I met Loz was very, sorry to use the term again, natural. It was like we were just friends in a gym environment. And like, I noticed that she had something very similar about her mindset that was similar to mine. And in past relationships, I was with people that had, honestly, slowing me down,
Mm.
slowing me down so much. Loz speeds me up.
Mm.
Like Loz will see me at 80 and tell me to go 100. And I'm like, I love that. I can't live with people that want to go slow.
Yeah.
I need pace. I need objectives. That's the right partner for me. So again, if you're looking for a partner, you need to first find what you're about. So, spend some time locking in on you. Because if you find like it's tough. I think it's tough to like have someone in your life all the time when you haven't found out what you really want out of life.
Mm.
So those are my tips on
No, but
those side of the equation.
I had someone say to me yesterday about, well, we were just having a conversation, we were talking about appearance and how to benefit from life. And the analogy they use is like people are like cars. So typically people will wash the outside of the car. The inside of the car, they do nothing with it.
Mm.
So I stepped into this guy's car, and the inside of his car is an absolute mess. So yeah, it's like mine as well. I won't even lie, the inside of my car, because the kids is a mess. There's some cans on the floor, but the outside of it's lovely.
Yeah.
Tires shine on the wheels, the grills are all lovely. It looks nice, like polished the symbols, whatever. But the inside of the car is a tip. So he goes, stereotypically, this is like people. You do your hair, you polish your face, you trim your beard, but what are you doing inside? Are you aware of who you are? Do you know what you're doing? Do you know what you want? Do you know where you want to go forward? So that's like what you're saying there. Like, find out who you are, then you can find out where you want to go.
That's it.
Which is perfect. Would you consider yourself now as a businessman?
Definitely. Yeah, for sure. I take passion and pride in that. And I think that when you go beyond, especially one business, like with the coaching, and you start to manage several different things, and if that gives you passion, I think then I would like to find myself as a bit more of a businessman. I'm thinking with a business mindset rather than just thinking of like, I like coaching and I'm a good coach.
You're definitely thinking as a businessman.
I'm trying to.
No,
Yeah,
you
my
are.
best.
You definitely are.
Appreciate it.
That one value comment alone, the way you said it and the chest which you said it with, like, you're definitely thinking in the right way. Biggest mistakes and lessons you had that you've learned?
Business specifically?
Yeah.
I think the people that you choose to do business with is more important than anything else, because especially when you're trying to build something that's bigger than just one thing that you can run on your own, which, for example, coaching, you can do yourself and do a really good job. Beyond that, it becomes everyone's got to be supportive of the direction of the business that is heading in as a whole. If there's like some sort of like wall that you're battling against, or people are thinking very differently, I've just figured out that a lot of people are just gonna chat shit and kind of disrespect you, honestly, behind your back if they don't want the best for you. And the best thing that I've done recently is I've just got rid of just all of those people. As soon as I've figured out that there's a weakness in the armor, just like, see you later. You're not going to be part of what I'm doing, because I need people that are just so focused on the objectives that we've got. They haven't got time for belittling little arguments or like, saying this or saying that.
Negativity.
Yeah, not got any time for that. It just doesn't that like negativity and wasting time chatting about rubbish, rumors, all these kind of things that like I left in like secondary school. I have not got time for dealing with those kind of dramas,
Yeah.
which you find out, and I'm sure you've experienced this a lot, but like there's many adults here, man, that are just locked in child's bodies.
Yeah.
And I always I think of myself sometimes as like quite a young lad still. So like, but then I realize I'm like I've chosen to sort of be involved in a business kind of setup here with someone that's 8 years older than me, but really about 10 years weaker in terms of maturity. So, that's when you make a decision. You just got to like surround yourself with people that are mature, got a level headspace. Um, they're pretty rigid and reliable,
Mm.
like not too up, not too down. They're consistent.
Mm.
Those are the type of people I want in my circle. And if I can keep building a team like that, I'm set up in good stead. So yeah, that would probably be one of my tips. And then other than that, it's just acceptance of delegation and being able to realize you cannot do everything yourself. I have so far with coaching done everything, and I mean everything myself. Like I'd build my own websites, I'd do all my own social. At the start, I'd edit all of my own videos. Just say everything. I don't want help. I don't want help.
Yeah.
That would be my mantra. Would be it's me or the highway kind of thing with my own business. But that had a lot of probably limitations looking back, because I think if I had brought on some people to help me with even just a few things, I would have probably made a quantum leap like a lot faster. And it's the same thing with if I tried to even remotely try to run the show without the help that I had, it would have not been anywhere near what it was.
Yeah.
Like I said to a lot of people on the day of the show, they were like, how you feeling? You're nervous, like, how much you got to manage? And I was like, I'm just coaching.
Yeah.
Because that was when I said a year before the show, I said that like my goal on show day is to be a coach, because that's my passion is coaching. I'm not a promoter on the show day. Um, the reason behind that is the promotion for me, job wise, that doesn't happen on show day. It's done. If I've done the right job with promoting, bums are on seats,
Mm.
spectators wise, athletes are in, and there's a good level of competition, and then everyone else does their job.
Simple.
Tanners do their job. Makeup hair does their job. Live stream does its job. Photo media does itself. I'm not sat there with a DSLR taking photos, or like then going to the live stream and doing this. And I'm just a coach. So I think that's where I've also, again, lessons I've learned from seeing promoters try to be a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
And you go to registration and they're sat there looking like they're about to have a heart attack because they're so stressed. And I've been like, I don't want a piece of that.
Because they're physically here, but their head's somewhere over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're living about 10 million different jobs
Yeah.
all at the same time. And I was like, that put me off the whole idea. But then I thought, well, what if I had a strategy where I could still do what I love on show day, which is just basically coach, and I can just put into place a team that's going to do the job on show day. And that's what it was. It was honestly a truly enjoyable experience with pretty minimal stress.
It's lovely just to hear from my side just how quickly you learn. You just remind me of just me. You just absorb very quick. You're analytical. So obviously, I'm older than you, but it's nice because I think I said this to you once before, because of how competitive you are. I can't remember what was happening. I know I was having a bad day, but you just woke me up. I was just like, it was like a slap in the face, like, yo, if this guy's doing it, then why are you not doing it? It's just nice hearing. It's honestly, it's lovely.
Appreciate
It's
that.
genuinely real good. How do you balance your authenticity with making money? You're a very straight up guy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think there's many different ways that people approach, the demand to try to get to sell online now, to sell a product or to sell a service or to get people in the door. And I think honestly, sometimes the best way you can sell and to create a brand is by being truly just yourself. you know, however that may come across. I think that then builds just true authenticity. And as long as you're not shape shifting between characters and you just are genuinely you, I think that is the best way. Especially when we're in, I think it's maybe different in different sectors, but for me with coaching, it's so important to be myself because I'm really what I'm primarily selling is me.
It's you, yeah.
So if I'm not myself, people aren't going to like me as a coach. And just like I said earlier in the podcast, I'm not the right coach for everyone. You know, there's a load of coaches out there with a variety of different personalities, their tone of voice, their scientific versus non-scientific approach, whatever you want to call it. Many different coaches, many different ways. An athlete will align with a coach. And I think people will align with a brand as well. They'll align with the way a brand moves. The way that I thought about MBW is more so allowing a team of authentic people to build the brand rather than just me. So yes, I'm a part of it, but I also have a dedicated team of athletes that are all very different. And the more that we show their different personalities, the more we attract as magnets, we attract a wide range of different people with different opinions, and then, you know, everyone's supportive of the brand. So that's one thing that I really wanted to do with that, was just not be just me, because I have a limitation. Only a certain amount of people are going to like me and some people might not, and that's okay. And I think, again, as you build, it's like the ability to realize that not everyone's gonna like you, and that's totally cool. That's not an issue. So I don't really get bothered by trying to like be a certain way to appease people either. I think that's something that people try to do, is they try to tone down an aspect to their personality to be, oh, I want to appear smart, or I want to appear like I'm professional. But if you're not that kind of way wired, that doesn't matter. Like, you'd still be great at your trade, but you could come across in a quite a comical or outlandish way, but people will love you for that. And if you change that, then you're not you, and you're trying to be something different all the time, and you end up sounding like one of the AI jumbled up robots that is just all over social, that just all sound the same,
all over social,
speaking off script.
Oh, mate,
It's
Chat
like,
GPT is doing
bro.
my head in. Everyone now on social media's got the same layout on the post.
Yeah, man.
It's crazy.
It's a madness. It's not good.
If 18-year-old AJ was here now, how is he starting it again? So at the moment, your social media following is amazing.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
the brand is amazing. You used to lose it all, and you're 18 again in today's day and age. What are you doing?
Oh, bloody hell. I mean, the thing is, when I was 18, if I was to think back, I was taking a good, I mean, it's hard not to. I was taking a lot of influence off what worked in other areas.
Yeah.
But I think I had a really good moment of influence where do you know Gary Vaynerchuk?
No.
So Gary V was like very, very, very popular.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Yeah.
Gary V.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Gary
I'm
V, yeah.
sure you
Yeah,
knew
yeah.
Gary V. There we go. So he's very, very popular. I actually went to one of his public events, public speaking in London, and I grabbed his book, which is called Jab, 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 Right Hook. It's basically about social media content strategy and like how to like brand yourself through the different platforms. It's quite old now. It's probably like a book from 2018, but it was really appropriate at that time. And it was his narrative was all about playing to your strengths and just being yourself. And obviously just posting off a degree of platforms. And I think one thing was that I did really well back then was I got into long form like quite quick. So I think long form is amazing. Like people are listening to right now, it's because it builds a lot of like know, like, and trust. You can really get an understanding of someone. Whereas, you know, now I think if I was 18, I would have been looking at people that were making it big on TikTok, and I would have been like, oh, I need to go short form. But for me, I think if I had the hindsight of knowing now, like, I would have been influenced at 18. So all the 18-year-olds, I can get why you've been influenced, but I would maybe veer away from, if you're wanting to build an authentic brand, not a click to buy program, or being a influencer that's selling some clothing at a discounted rate and you get a buy off of that code. If you want to build your own thing, I think still the long form and being super authentic is so damn key. So whatever way you do that, I think you should just go all in on just building something that's just you. So I in all honesty, I wouldn't probably change much.
Yeah.
to compare to what I did when I was 18.
Rinse and repeat.
I would do more of the same. Yeah,
Lovely.
just put a camera in front of my face, do long form stuff, not be afraid as well of being you. Like back when I was 18, like my tone of voice and the way that I spoke was just honestly not very engaging, not very fun, pretty monotone, but I just got better and better and better. And then became someone that now, you know, like I do a public event speaking thing and I've managed to keep people engaged for an hour and will come up to me afterwards and say like they really enjoyed it, and I'd be like, oh, that's like awesome to hear, because you know back when I was younger I could barely speak in front of a camera, let alone an audience. So yeah.
What's next for AJ then?
Ooh, I think for sure the MBW is a big focus, and in terms of getting that to be without doubt the best natural bodybuilding show available for any athlete worldwide at a pro level and at an amateur level. And I really think with the people continuing to support what I do, I think we can do that in like 5 years without doubt. So bigger and better there. I want to get it to the point as well where we have the biggest natural bodybuilding prize fund available for athletes available worldwide.
Amazing.
So if you want to win money, cash prize, I want to be the biggest. So that's the goal. We just got to slowly keep creeping up forwards, but we don't achieve goals without putting them out there into the universe. So there's that. And then from a coaching standpoint, I'm so blessed to just be where I'm at with coaching. And I just want to keep doing what I'm doing, coaching high level athletes. I don't want to coach any more than what I've got right now. My roster's fine where it is. And I want to also just keep getting better. I'm aware that coaching is an ever changing field, you know, like you could always get better. You could always learn something new. So I want to keep getting better as a coach, keep delivering really good results, and also just be a great partner as well. So yeah, that's it.
When was the last time you felt like giving up? I think I already know the answer.
Yeah, I mean, for me, yeah, you said it at the start, but it's so true. Like just giving up in general isn't an option really. I don't ever think about like that being a way out of a tough time. I think I've definitely had some tough times for sure. The most recent one being in 2023 when I got injured, and it was like chronic pain daily that was affecting my ability to work, to focus. And then all of my time in the gym was spent trying to just work around it or rehab it. So it's just, I don't wish injuries on anyone. Like they're just the worst when you love training so much and you love pushing your body and it's a massive exit for you from everything you do on a daily basis. Bro, like it sucks the life out of you. It really does. And then when you don't really know what the problem is and people pretend to have the fix for you and charge you a shit ton of money for treatment, you feel like you're just also getting conned at the same time. So it's like, yeah, win-win.
I know, to kick you out, you don't.
Yeah, it's like win-win. So now I'm wasting time, money, and also just feeling depressed. But yeah, that was rough because the type of injury it actually like it led to like actual rapid atrophy like of a muscle. And so I was basically watching my physique that I built and I was planning to prep in 24. In 23, like for 6 months, I just watched it just get gradually worse and worse and worse and worse. And alongside pain every day. So it was, but hey, what did it teach me? I now have such a good grasp on how to get through injuries. And I obviously have athletes that get injured. It just happens.
The lesson and everything in there.
Oh mate, like I learned just so much. I learned so much about gratitude for being able to like do what I do. I probably honestly didn't have enough gratitude. And I learned a lot about the psychological side of being true, like not just having a niggle, but like having a big problem. And that then has helped me get a lot of my athletes through pretty rough times as well, get them out the other side, get them back to full health, get them on stage looking their best in pretty short time frames.
Yeah.
And also probably stop a few problems from happening in their tracks. Because there's certain like just warning signs that if you're not a complete meathead, you actually should probably listen to.
What would you be like if you couldn't train?
A bad person.
Yeah, same, yeah.
Bad person, man. Like not good. Um, I'm not good if I'm not active.
Mm.
So like on rest days, um, I'm like it's like active rest days. So I'm like I'll do hard cardio or I'll do something.
Mm.
Um, I am not the
Please don't
type.
say high rock.
No, no.
Yeah.
Like if I'm doing hard cardio, I'm a stairmaster kind of guy. I just
Yeah.
ran up the stairs like 20, 30 minutes and just get heart rate up and just do something hard. And feel alive for a little bit and like get my body just moving. So yeah, I don't like that idea of not being able to do what I do. I also don't like the idea of not being able to like create some sort of personal challenge and
Mm.
like JP, a big role model for me, Jordan Peters, always used to use the term of like mini wins in your day and stacking them up. And like training is one of those mini wins.
Of course.
And
It's medicine.
it really is. And I think without that, I'd be extremely lost and I wouldn't be as good in business as I am either, for sure.
Amazing. The importance of, you've touched on it already, the importance of a good circle and a good partner.
Huge. Without Loz specifically, I would just not be where I am today, 100%. I mean, I've been with Loz since 2020. 2020 to now has been the biggest jump I've had in business, my own bodybuilding, everything. Yeah, I mean, I definitely wouldn't be the athlete that I am because I am very, very, I'm very good at being an athlete, but don't get me wrong, like it's also very easy for me. It's easy for me to train. I need training, but like, let's say, for example, the eating, right? So I'm super busy with work, so focused on delivering to my athletes. There's some days where I could go without eating the whole day,
Mm.
the whole day.
You
And
forget.
yeah, mate. And I'm happy to admit that because I'm just so when I'm sure you have it as well, but you have this focus state,
To invest in.
flow state.
Mm.
When you're in the flow state and you're just working, you're grafting, like before you know it, 6 hours have gone.
Mm.
And you're like, oh shit, I've just had water and caffeine.
Yeah. And miss countless messages on your phone, probably.
Yeah, because you're just in on something.
Mm.
So Laws just keeps me super structured. Like I don't miss meals, I don't miss on anything, and also she keeps me in a routine that allows us to decompress every single day. So evening routine at the moment is like sauna, shower, eat last meal, chill with Loz, go to bed. That final like hour to hour 30 of my day to decompress is incredibly important.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd also be one of these guys that just doesn't, that tells you, oh, okay, it's all right to have 3 or 4 hours of sleep. It's fine. I'm okay. But really, you're not. Like you're just operating on suboptimal setups all the time. So yeah, for me to be a good athlete, I need to get good sleep, good recovery. I need to decompress. I need to eat my meals at the right time. And yeah, without Loz, I'd definitely be struggling more with that. I'd be quite happy to admit. And then other than that, support network wise, I mean, I've been blessed to have just good parenting, supportive parenting. I've been blessed to also have just good friends as well. But I'm being honest, I have very few friends. I have a lot of like clients, so I'd consider friends because I speak to them more often than I speak to some of my close
Yeah, yeah.
friends. But I don't have that many like proper, like legit friends. And I think that's okay, because I'd be honest, if I had a load of random different friends, I'd probably be letting them down all the time with the fact that I just wouldn't want to do much, and go out and
That's not surprising though.
yeah.
It's not surprising at all. Success brings you into your own shell.
It's
You
a
know
smaller one.
you know who you are,
Yeah.
and you know who your people are with that as well.
That's it.
And that the importance of that is they know who you are. So they appreciate who you are. If you've got time for them, great. If you haven't got time for them, great. But when you get together, you're still them 16-year-old kids.
That's it.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Final question for you, bro.
Sure.
What would you tell your younger self? You're still young. You're still young. 30 years old. You're still very young. You in the next 10 years going to be very interesting.
Appreciate that, mate. Thank you.
What would you tell your 20-year-old self?
Oh, I mean, in a lot of ways, I would say to him, just keep doing what you're doing, man. Like, just live life the way you're living it. You're doing a good job. Like, keep going in the right direction and let life take you where it takes you. Because I think a lot of the things that I did from 20 to now have been absolutely pivotal for me to get to where I am, whether it's an experience, whether it's a lesson or a decision I made, a failure. Like all of those things have actually just created this version of me. So I wouldn't have wanted to change much specifically. Um, I'd have just said, like above all, make sure that every day you're enjoying what you're doing and keep the passion super high for what you're doing. If you find that you're just losing a bit of passion, like try and reinstigate it, try and reinstill it, remind yourself of your why, and just keep getting after it. That's what I'd probably say to a younger version of me.
AJ, you a spiritual guy?
A little bit, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah,
I go, man. I
yeah,
didn't know that side of you. Otherwise, I would have gone into that with you.
yeah, yeah.
Bro, I always end these on a nice little positive. Time is the most valuable commodity that we get. The fact that you're giving me time to come down, I appreciate you massively.
Pleasure.
But you are an example, not just for fitness, not just for fitness. And I want to make that very clear. You are by far not just a fitness guy. You are absolutely an influencer, but you are heavily influential. And the example that you set, the manner in which you carry yourself, your thinking, your thought process, your work ethic, man, honestly, admirable.
Thank you, mate.
Admirable.
That
I
means a
appreciate
lot.
you.
I
Thank you for
appreciate you,
coming
man.
on.
Thank you
Thank
very
you for coming on.
much.